This is how I would make $10,000 in a single month if my life depended on it. Now imagine this. Imagine one day you wake up in the morning and you get an anonymous call from somebody who says, if you want to stay alive, you need to make $10,000 in the next 30 days. Now, you cannot cheat. You cannot borrow money from the bank. You need to earn this money. What would you do? That's how you need to start thinking. You need to make this an irrefutable standard. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make sure that you can make $10,000 a month. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing I would do is figure out, what am I even going to sell? Now, I would make my life way easier by selling something at a higher price point. For example, $2,500. I would rather sell something at $2,500 than $25. Because if I'm trying to make $10,000 in a month, I only need to sell the $2,500 item 4 times. Whereas if I want to sell something at $25, I'm going to need to sell it 400 times. That's way too much. I'd rather just sell something 4 times, make 10K in a month, and carry on with my life, right? Remember, our life is on the line here. We need to make sure that we're selling properly. Okay, so now that I know that my price point is going to be $2,500, I need to think about, what am I going to sell at $2,500? What's the easiest thing to sell? And the answer to that is information, right? Because when you sell information online, whether that be coaching, whether that be courses, whether that be something in that realm of online education, it makes your life way easier. You don't need to deal with shipping. You don't need to deal with logistics like e-commerce, all of that kind of stuff. Keep away from that stuff. Keep it really easy, because let's say I just sold a coaching package, right? I would start to think about, okay, what can I teach people that people would pay top dollar for? What are my skills? Now, this is where I would start to re-rack my brain and think about, what did I study in university, right? What are my backgrounds? What skills do I have? And remember, skills that might seem very obvious to you are not so obvious to the next person. So for example, if you were in university and you studied medicine, right? If you studied medicine and you passed the MCAT exam, which is a very important exam that's taken by all medical students across North America to get into medical school, you could sell online coaching teaching people how to pass that MCAT exam, right? For example, or maybe another exam you passed, something where you have already succeeded in, you can teach other people how to achieve the exact same result you achieve. And the best part is, people will pay top dollar to learn from you because you've achieved what they want to achieve, and they really, really want to achieve that goal too. So it's a win-win situation on both sides. So let's say I did exactly this. Let's say I started a coaching program on how to pass the MCAT exam so that you can get into the medical school of your dreams. And I sold that for $2,500. That already is a great offer. Why? Because it's a high pain point that I'm solving. I'm solving a really big problem for people, and I'm able to sell it at a $2,500 price point, which allows me to get to my goal of $10,000 a month that much faster. Okay, so now that we've gotten the offer dialed in, now we got to figure out, where are my buyers? Where am I going to find the people that will actually purchase this program? Now, this is a good question. So the answer to that is, you want to look in areas where these people congregate. Now, the immediate thoughts that would come to my mind are there Facebook groups of people studying for the MCAT exam? Are there LinkedIn groups? Are there communities online? Are there forums online? I would start to do some research and figure out, where are these people spending their time? Because again, this is a very important exam. People study for this for months, 6 months. People even study for this for years. So I know that there's going to be communities where these people are congregating. So what I would do is, I would immediately go and find these communities, and I'd find the most active ones. In fact, let's just do this right now. Come take a look at my screen over here. So right now, I'm on LinkedIn. And if I wanted to go and find places where students studying for the MCAT could congregate, I would immediately just go here to the search bar and type in MCAT. Okay, so right here are a couple groups, but I'd like to look a little deeper. So I'll click here and see all group results. Okay, so come take a look at this group over here. Test Prep and Tutoring Network, 5,000 members. And in the description, it says, the Test Prep and Tutoring Group is a worldwide network of current and former test prep and tutoring professionals in all areas of this education industry, including the MCAT. Okay, so right away, I just found a LinkedIn group with thousands of people who are studying for the MCAT exam, which is great. I'm sure if I looked a little deeper, I could find way more groups. So finding the buyers, boom, check. So now we figured out 2 things already. We figured out what our offer is going to be at a $2,500 price point. We've figured out where the buyers are. Now we need to figure out, how are we going to get these people interested in the idea of working with me and paying me $2,500 for my services. So the way to do that is, you need to create content content helping these individuals. So now that I found this group, I would also go and find 3, 4, 5 more groups, and I would start posting content every day, adding value. I would teach things. I would talk about my experiences taking the MCAT, what helped me pass the MCAT, all of this. I would start to establish authority in this group so that people start to look up to me and say, oh, wow, this guy, he's giving so much value away. Now, keep in mind, I would not be making offers or anything like that, at least for the first week. I would want to really establish my authority by adding more and more value. In fact, I would probably post in these groups 2 to 3 times per day, giving top level value, and I would start to engage with everyone too. So for example, if I made a post in these groups saying the 10 best study tips that helped me pass the MCAT on my first try, and I listed them out, I'm sure I would get a lot of engagement, people saying, oh, this is great, or maybe people would have questions. All I would do is just respond to these people, engage with them. I would even add them as connections, maybe DM them personally and say, hey, thanks so much for engaging with my post. How's the studying going with your MCAT? I would start to form better relationships, which leads to the next point, which is the actual conversion process. So remember, up until now, we've covered the 3 main things, which is number 1, having an offer that people actually want to buy, and the one we're going to be selling at $2,500, which is the MCAT coaching services. Number 2 is figuring out where those buyers are. We just figured that out right now with these LinkedIn groups. Number 3 is nurturing them with content, giving value, building trust, establishing our authority. And then the last part here is the conversion system. Now it's about getting people on the phone to learn about my services so that they can purchase from me and I can make that $2,500 sale and go from there. So this again makes things very straightforward. So like I was just saying, after publishing content 2 to 3 times per day in these groups, offering value, speaking to people one-on-one, building relationships, establishing authority, this is when I'd start to make offers. So one of the first ways I would do this is by making offers directly in the group. So after I've established all this authority, I would make a post saying, hey, if you're studying for your MCAT right now and you don't know all the strategies you think you need to know to pass on the first time, I have done so. I passed my exam on the first time. I got fantastic results, and I am looking for 4 people to work with one-on-one so that I can help them pass the MCAT exam on their first try. I would make that post in each one of these groups and then see who responds. And based on whoever responds, I would message them privately, set up a one-on-one call together, and then talk about my services. I'd figure out, what they're dealing with, what their goals are, and tell them about what it's like to work with me and make that $2,500 offer to them. So at this point, it really just becomes a numbers game. The hard part's already figured out. I know exactly what my offer is. I'm selling it at $2,500. I know exactly who my buyers are. I know where they are. I know what I'm going to be doing to build trust and authority. Now it's all about that conversion process, and it's all about booking calls. So if I'm making these posts into 4 or 5 groups, now it's like, how many calls can I schedule? So remember this, your income is directly correlated to the number of sales calls you schedule every week. So an average close rate is about 25%, which means that 1 out of every 4 calls that I take turns into a paying client. So again, this makes my life very easy and straightforward. So therefore, if I want to make one $2,500 sale, I need to schedule 4 qualified sales calls. So therefore, if I want to make 4 $2,500 sales, which will equal $10,000, my entire goal, I need to schedule 16 calls in a month. That's it. 16 sales calls in 30 days. I will make 4 sales from those calls, and I will make $10,000, allowing me to reach my goal. Literally, it is that simple. So now the name of the game is just doing the right activities to book 16 calls, which really is only just 4 calls a week. That's less than 1 call a day. We're talking about less than 1 call a day, and you're going to be making $10,000 a month. It's very straightforward. It's just about doing the right activities. So that is it right there. That is the exact game plan I would do to make $10,000 in a month to save my entire life. And I'm telling you to go and do the same. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. It's really all just about figuring out an offer that people will pay top dollar for, finding out where your buyers are online, knowing how to communicate with them, knowing how to establish authority with them, and then making offers, getting people on calls, and collecting cash. It's really that simple. So I'm telling you, go and do it. Go and make it happen for yourself. Work like your life depends on it, and that's when you're going to get the best results. So thanks again for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, just comment them below, and I'll see you soon. Take care.